Hello and welcome back to Alba Physiotherapy Pilates. My name is Breed. Let's get started today in standing and let's just take a few nice deep breaths in and roll those shoulder blades back and down. Lovely. So let's start by getting breathing. It's a really important thing that we do on a day-to-day basis, but something that we don't actually get to exhale and lengthen. Let's try and get ourselves now, you'll have heard of us talking about this already, out of flight or fight, into rest and digest, and really get the stage set, so to speak, for getting the best out of our bodies today. Two more. Let's go a little bit deeper now. Rolling those shoulder blades back and down. Inhale and exhale. Drawing the shoulder blades down towards your opposite bum pockets. Good. Off we go again. Roll those shoulder blades back and down. This time I want you to think about lengthening at the back of the neck. Really lengthening through there. It may mean that you're drawing that chin back a little bit so that you're getting that length at the back of the neck. A really tough place to get length. Off we go again. One more. And this time I want you to think about allowing the sternum, like you just let off a sponge, and it's soaking up. It's lifting up through the body very gently, very naturally, not forced and not overarching. Good. Now let's open up those shoulders, and this time we're going to come all the way up and back down. Now you'll turn the arms out as much as is comfortable for you, and you'll go as high as much as it's comfortable for you. And how you'll know this as well is, apart from the pain or discomfort, which you'll hopefully not be feeling, is you'll feel that as you lift those arms up, you'll lose that lovely lift that you got just by breathing and moving as we started there. So this time I want to exhale, which is tough, and release back down. One more. We're going to rotate out to where you're comfortable, not your full range, just where you're comfortable. And then as you exhale, lift through the back of the neck. So really lengthening at the back of the neck there to try and get that lift. That's two things that almost oppose each other as we go through our day. So we want to really train the body that it can actually come out of this protective mode and get taller as well. Now we're just going to put one foot slightly in front of the other. Good. And we're going to do the same except a bit lower. Rotate out and this time go down and out. Lovely. And you'll feel different parts of your back working there. Good. Rotate out and this time lengthen at the back of the neck. There we go. So we're starting to couple up some movements now. Lovely. Last one. Rotate out to where you feel comfortable. Lengthen at the back of the neck. Draw the shoulder blades gently down and allow the sternum to almost, as I said, gently lift. It's not a force. You're not arching through the back. You're just allowing the body to do what it's naturally able to do. Good. And release. Lovely. Let's switch legs. This time we're going to go back even further. We're going to turn our palms in the way. Now, as you're turning the palms in the way, it will want to encourage you to come down, but we're going to train the brain. It doesn't have to do that. It doesn't have to couple up those movements. So nice deep breath in and rotate in and down. Lovely. Now put a little bit of weight down through that back foot so that you're still getting a stretch on the front of the thigh, and release. Off we go. Rotate in. And this time we're going to draw that length through the back of the neck again. Good. And release. Lovely. And last one. Nice deep breath in. Draw those shoulder blades down to your opposite bum pockets. Allow the lengthening at the back of the neck, and then allow the sternum to almost lift through there. That'll be hard because it'll want a rib flare, but we want to keep that rib nice and relaxed there. Good. And release. Fantastic. Now let's do our roll downs. We've lifted up through there. Let's use it. So our roll downs are brilliant for getting that segmental movement through the spine. Let's add the breathing though today. So draw a nice deep breath in. And as you exhale, draw that chin back so that you're getting the length of the back of the neck. Open through the shoulders. Allow the sternum to still lift. Chin towards the chest. Exhale. Good. And at any point, stop and take a breath again. There we go. Exhaling as you go, forming a really nice C curve at the back. And only go to where you feel comfortable. Inhale. And exhale. So today, I really want you to think about breathing through here and getting length. This might not feel, if you're going to rush this one, it won't feel like you're getting a hard class, but actually if you really use the breathing and really think about lengthening, you're going to work very hard through here. So wide through the collarbones, Draw the chin back and down we go. Let's get segmental stability. So as you're rotating down, as you're kind of folding down, you're allowing the back muscles to lengthen, but you're also lifting up through that pelvic floor, okay? Now, when we're down here, let's just pause down here if you're okay with that. If not, come back up and do this in standing. I'm going to get you to lift up through the midfoot and back down. Lift up through the midfoot and back down. Good. Last one. And back down. Inhale and exhale, coming back up. Fantastic. Good. Lovely. And then wide through the collarbones. Good. Now when you're up here, let's lift up through the midfoot and back down. If you need us to check that, please let us know, because we do check this. You're going to start feeling pelvic floor working a little bit now. Good. And release. Now let's bring the feet, turn them out the way, but turn them out from the hips. Now this is where you really, really need to go to where you're most comfortable, not your end of range, okay? Don't need ballet moves just yet, so they'll come later. Let's draw the same again. So now I've opened up these hips. We're going to be using a little bit more of the back pelvic floor, but still working on our neutral. So draw those shoulder blades back and down to your opposite bum pockets. Lengthen at the back of the neck and allow the sternum to lift, opening up this cavity through here. Draw the chin in, chin towards the chest, and down we go. Good. And you might find at this point, depending on where your feet go, you might find that you start blocking a little bit through the lumbar spine. So this is getting a little bit physio-y. Now in this position, lift up through the midfoot and release. Lift up through the midfoot and release. Try and get both feet to do the same thing. It's strangely harder than it looks, doesn't it? And then coming back up, exhale as you move. Stack the spine on top of each other and then come back to that starting position again. Really, really important. Now we're going to turn the hips, sort of rotate in. This will be very much dependent on your biomechanics, your knees, your hips, how you're feeling, the whole thing. So really try and open up through the chest, draw that chin back, send the shoulder blades to the opposite bum pockets, lift up through the sternum. So we are getting that neutral position, that ideal position. We're coming back to there all the time, and we're using the breathing to get very deep into this. So draw the chin back, inhale, and down we go. Good. Now this is where you'll find that you might start hinging, you might start feeling, where am I in space? Still try and form that nice C curve, getting segment by segment, down we go. Now if you need to slightly bend the knees, do, or you might not go as far, that's absolutely fine. That's telling you where you're tight. Now lift up through the midfoot, back down. And remember, everyone's neutral is different. Everyone's range of motion is different. You may have loads of range on one side and nothing at all on the other, but you're still with intent firing these muscles up because you still need them. Even if you've had fusions through your joints, you still need those muscles to be working. And then up we come, believe it or not. Lovely. Last one. And release. Good. Let's point the feet forward now. We're going to do our roll down and onto our back. So again, come back to that center point. Now let's see if that rib cage is sitting over the pelvis a bit better. I've basically WD-40'd from holding one end and moving the other and all sorts. So let's see if we can use that now. So draw that chin back and exhale as you go. Lovely. And you're going to go onto your backs now. There we go. Down we go, and then onto your backs. I'm going to just tilt you so I can see a little bit more. Lovely. So onto your backs, and let's start in that neutral position again. And feet flat on the mat, bend the knees, and get comfortable. Very important. Now, if you've had a busy day, busy morning, busy weekend, busy whatever, busy last half hour, really just take this time here to take a nice deep breath in and exhale, allowing the shoulder blades to glide down to your bottom bum pockets, opening up that chest, lengthening at the back of the neck, and then that sternum should feel like it almost lifts through here. If you want to feel taller, if you want your posture to be better, and if you want the deep core to be working so you're getting better toning, you've got to get these measures in place. Otherwise, it's very difficult to actually build as effectively and as quickly. So now let's do a little pelvic tilting. So we've kind of gotten the rib cage up to where we want it to be. Let's get the pelvis down to where we want it to be. So little pelvic tilting, come to your midpoint, gently zip up. We're going to come up into tabletop position, out to the side, back in, straight out into scissors, back to center. Lovely. Now, I'm going a little faster now. So if you think nearly like a metronome, you're building this, but I want you to think about your technique. So go as slow as you need or as fast as you can without compromising technique. So technique means you're keeping the shoulder blades nice and flat on the mat. You're keeping that length through the neck and the neck muscles are nice and relaxed. And you're allowing that sternum to almost lift through there, which means you can breathe, which is lovely. It's a lovely thought, isn't it? There we go. Good. Last one. And back to center, other side. If you need to, recheck your position with your pelvis. Remember, this is more, we always think when we're doing exercises, we have to get them absolutely perfect from the get-go. And although that is, you know, absolutely the aim, we do want to make sure that we're giving the body a chance. And to give the body a chance, it means that we are basically building. So we're keeping within our comfortable range in our good technique. We're making sure we're breathing. We're taking the pace that we need. And I'll guarantee that you'll be able to do a bit more as the class goes on. So get that technique. Good. If you've been able to walk in here, which most people have, this would be an exercise that if we pulled however many people in off the street, they would be able to do. But it's to do it right is the hard bit. Okay, that's the challenge. Last one. And release down. Lovely. Now we're going to come back up into tabletop position. This time we're going to do a little bit of an imprint, which is we're flattening that a little bit more up into double tabletop. Now if your back moved or your rib cage moved when you did that, or you're finding you have to push down through with the elbows, or you're not able to breathe, or you're losing that position at the front, then come down and toe touch. Up to you though, okay? Now from here, off we go, out to the side, back in, lengthen, back to center. Tough going. I'm showing you double tabletop, but you absolutely can do single leg again and toe touch. Good. Keep an eye on your position. The minute you go into double tabletop, it asks an awful lot of the body and especially the lumbar spine. And most of the time, we will manage it, there's no doubt about it, but we're losing the technique. So give your body the chance, be kind to your body. If it's showing that it's losing technique, just do one or two and take a break by coming back down and bring your knees to the tummy just to ease off that lower back. Good. You should be able to still breathe. If anyone would like to sing, that's not a problem. Let's crack out a few bars. I'll join in. We could play it alongside the video. I think that would be lovely. Last one. Here we go. Make sure you've evened up. And knees to the tummy. The odd time I'm partial to a power ballad. One should never be quiet when it's on the radio. There's so much feeling, isn't there? Right, let's scoop these knees up and out like a rainbow. Lovely. And this time I want you to almost point or sort of aim the heels at each other. They're not quite touching, but aim the heels at each other. Lift and out. Relax the shoulders, allowing that sternum to still lift. It doesn't have to fix. You know, one of the most common areas I see is a pretty stiff thoracic spine. And if it's stiff through the thoracic spine, it absolutely means that you probably won't be getting full breath. It means that you won't have the rotation you need when walking. It means so many things, cascade of stuff. And you more than likely will feel tight in your neck at best, and if not in your lower back. Good, well done. Now come back to center. We're going to come out to the side. Keep the foot in line with the knee and back in. We're doing singles. Out to the side and back in. Try, if you can, to keep this other side, although we're sort of stretching dynamically, you're making sure that this side is staying in neutral position. Tough going. You just want to flop into it, don't we? Or maybe I just want to flop into it and relax into it, but we're lifting up and out. Good. Back to center. Last one. Good. One foot goes down, other foot goes down. And from here, take the block out from underneath the head. Lovely. And we're going to come up into our bridge. So bring the heels closer to the bum now. You've worked the front with the abdominals. Now we're going to work the abdominals through length and get the perky butts all ready for bikini weather. Yeah. Inhale and exhale, up we go, segment by segment. And I love this. It's the opposite of the roll down. So it's really getting your spine moving in a different direction. Same, but different. So inhale when you're up there and exhale. Now, hands on the bum so that it's rib cage that comes down first and then the tummy and then release down. Good, and release. Excellent. Inhale again. And off we go. Lovely. I gave a workshop to preschool teachers and it's amazing how much getting a little bit of feedback with a bit of hands-on makes a huge difference. At the start, we were compensating quite a bit with different muscles, and by the end, they were actually taller. I didn't want to say it. They were saying it. I didn't want to say it because it sounded like we were making it up, but it was very true because it's amazing how much length you can get in the body when you get the right muscles working at the right time. Lovely. Now from here, I'm going to give you lots of options. So we're going to do this series of bridging and we're going to do a bit of an endurance set. So you can, when you want to, you can stretch off hamstrings in between. Okay, these are your options. And you can bring knees to the tummy again as an option. And here are your options for progression. So look to getting, you can do knee out to the side. And let's go in couples of 3 reps of each exercise. If you want to make this harder, you can come up into tabletop. There we go. And if you're absolutely ready for it, you can come up into tabletop, one leg out to the side and reach out. Good. Again, groups of 3 if you can. There we go. And switch legs, coming back down, making sure that you're getting segmental mobility. So really check that. I think with the bridge in particular, we're all a little bit, we're able to get up there and then we're able to do lots of lovely stuff when we're up there. And then we forget that actually the spine still needs to move in between. And that's really important. So it balances things. Inhale to prepare. Exhale as you come up. Inhale when you're up there. And exhale up. And then just make sure you're inhaling and exhaling depending on your movement. Okay? That's it. It's hard. Watch for how much you're putting down through those elbows and especially how much is dipping at the hip. We want to have headlamps on those hips pointing up to the ceiling. Good. Now I'm showing you the top level here. If you want to make it even harder, you can cross your arms over. That's tough. Oh, I love it. And the thing about this is you can make it harder crossing your arms over even if you're not lifting a foot off the ground. Listen to your body. This is all about body awareness. And then rib cage, down we come. Good. Let's go for 2 more sets of this. At whatever level you're at, so that might be knee out to the side with your hip twist. And do try it in between because it's not easy. You may just be lifting up into tabletop and back down. Again, fantastic, because the minute you start going into one leg up and the other down, you're mimicking the walking and the running, that amount that the body really needs to think of when the pelvis is doing one thing on one side and one thing on the other. Good. We should be getting a little bit fatigued now, not in ourselves, but in the technique. That's where you want to be pitching it for this last set so that you're actually getting to that point where just that little bit tired, but it's not causing pain or stiffness or discomfort, or you're not wobbling in the breeze. Good. And release and back down. Fantastic. And remember, let's not rush the way back down. Inhale. And exhale, rib cage, tummy, then the pelvis. Down we go. Well done. And let's bring the knees to the tummy and do a nice circular motion with the knees if you can. You can hold on to the trousers if you need, or wherever is most comfortable to do that. Good. And glide one leg down along the mat. Bring the other knee up. Squeeze, hug if you can. Now only go to where you feel comfortable. I'm putting the block back in underneath my head, just wherever is most comfortable for you. And release. Squeeze in. Now really think about sending that femur, that tip of the bony bit, the thigh, sink that in. That's what I want you to think of. Sink it into the hip joint. Good. And release. And again, sink it in. Fab. And release. Other side. Up we come. And you'll notice as well, you'll have one side that might be a little bit stiffer or tighter, but you'll also might even have a side that it starts to twist you. So this side feels more comfortable to me, but I'm also starting to rotate through the mat there. So again, even though you're getting deep into dynamic flexibility, you're still keeping that core working. Good. And release, well done. Lovely, and release. Excellent. Okay, now bring those feet back. We're not done just yet. Now we're going to bring the feet slightly further out from the hips. I want you to turn the legs out, okay? And dip the knees just slightly out. So we're going to, feet are a bit further than hip distance. Out they go, and they're in line with the hips. So you're not letting the knees collapse in. And then you're just going to open up the pelvis a little bit. Now from here, you're going to push into the floor with one foot and release. Push into the floor, 1 foot and release. Push into the floor, good, release. Push into the floor, that's it. Perky bums, there we go. Last one and release, fab. Now I want you to rotate. Allow one knee to come across and then the other. So you're keeping that rib cage stable and think about lengthening down one side between the rib cage and the pelvis. This is a lovely one to get that lower thoracic spine mobilized and then the upper lumbar spine. Good. Lovely. Back to center. Good. Now you're going to draw the heels a little bit closer together if they can meet each other, and the knees will still be turned out. Right, from here, up we come into a bridge. Ooh. Now one knee comes to midline and open. Other knee comes to midline and open. Hard going. Brilliant for the adductors, which are the muscles of the inside of the thighs. We work these muscles when you're in side lying. Who knew you could work it on your back as well? It's a whole new world, isn't it? I won't break into song just yet. It's coming though. There we go. Last squeeze to each side. Lovely. Back down, rib cage, then tummy, then pelvis. Nice, excellent. Okay, now we're going to bring the feet a little bit further apart again. And from here, roll the shoulder blades back and down. You're not even getting much of a break, but you kind of are because we're going to work different muscle groups. I want you to come up into tabletop position and squeeze across the body, all the way across and open. So 1 foot is a windscreen wiper. You're shining something and across. If you want to make that harder, if you're a runner and you want to really build up the adductors, which are the inside of the thighs, you can rotate that foot out and then across. Hopefully you can see that. So I've rotated, corkscrewed that leg, and I'm going across the body and back, across the body and back. And while you're doing this, let's double check. Are we relaxed at the shoulders? Lengthened at the back of the neck. Good. And are we breathing? Good. Release down. Other side, up we come. So across the body and back up. Lovely. So you're really getting full range here. And as I said, if you want to add rotation, you can. That's really deep into the hip though. Keep everything stable. Cross the body, that's it. This is very much working that lower core. If you want to, you can put your fingers on the lower tummy and you should be feeling them working. If you're not, I want you to give us a holler, a wave. We will check that. Speak to your physio. That's really important. Relax the shoulders. Bit of an endurance set today, isn't it? Lovely. That's it. Last one. And release back and down. Fab. Okay, from here, you're just going to allow one leg to just lengthen it down. Tuck the fingers, the toes underneath that knee, and from there, just rotate through there. Good. And release back down. Now, in a nice movement, you're just going to get that movement rotating. It's not a flop back to the ground. It's actually just easing and opening. And we're breathing. Get the control as you come back though. That's it. It can be quite hard to get the control as you come back. It's actually a movement we don't practice. But if you think about things like rolling over in bed or being able to do certain movements, it is what gives us what we call floor mobility and bed mobility, in that you can actually get yourself from one side to the other. And it's one of those movements we don't ever really practice, do we? We work on different muscles, but why would we practice that? So it's really important to be able to get that combined movement. Good. Switch legs. Tuck that underneath the toes, underneath the knee, and then off we go. Allowing that rotation. The first few rotations, though, just take it nice and easy. Get your range of motion, wake it up. We have been working the body on the straight and now we've added rotation. So there's a real mix to this class in that respect. Good. Lovely. Well done. Take the elbows out of it if you can and think about lengthening through that rib cage, remember. We're often very overactive in the outside of our thigh muscles. So this is one where we start to work it and work those muscles. So you really want to think about getting that length through there. Good. Length, length, length of that rib cage. This is a side that can tighten up for me. So it's amazing how much I have to slow it right down and tell it to do what I'm asking it to do and release. Fantastic. Lovely. Let's go over onto our sides now. And I'm going to give you two options. We've been working a lot of our muscles from here down and controlling the muscles from here up. I'm going to give you an option here where you can actually start working through up to the head as well as down the way. So I'm going to show you this one to start with for those of you that want to. For those of you that have any shoulder issues, please go onto your side. Okay, you'll still get a workout, you'll still get movement through there, but please go onto your side. For those of you that want to work the rest of it, you can come up onto your side, onto your forearms. When you come into this position, it's so important that you're getting lovely movement and through the body, but even more so that you stable base up through the shoulder. This is a classic for building a shoulder progression. However, the shoulder needs to be strong enough for it. So if you're feeling anything in the shoulder and the neck, or even neck muscles can't hold you up, please come back down. Okay, that's really important. Now, either way, you can put the knees together, feet together, okay, slight 45-degree angle. And from here, we're going to do a little pelvic tilt. Off we go. So draw that shoulder blade back and down. We're still getting that lift through the thoracic spine, lift through the sternum, length at the back of the neck. And at any point, if you need to, please lie down. Good. Come to your center point. Now top hip towards your heel. Lovely. Top hip towards your heel. Good. And release. Fab. So it's still the same. So you can't quite see with this jacket, but you're lifting up through here so that if I was to measure the difference between the length between your rib cage and your pelvis, it would be the same on both sides. So we're not slumping through there. We're lifting up through here. So this is where we're on the beach. We're shouting for Solero ice, and I'd like some sparkling water and maybe something else. I'm not sure that they bring that around on the beach, but there we go. It's been a long time. So you can make it whatever you want. That's the beauty of these classes. Okay, so we're holding that position and now we're going to lift up through and release back down. Lift the heel and back down. Now if you're up on your side, it's a parcel space you've got here. If you're down, lying down, it's an envelope space. So just whichever works best. And you'll believe it or not, the hard bit is, well, you will believe it if you're up on your arm, is often that it can be quite hard on the neck muscles. And the deep neck flexors are ones that do need a bit of attention. So do pay attention to them. If they're starting to get tight, it's probably because they are tight. Last one. And release. Bring that leg forward now. Good. And just give that a bit of a rub. Excellent. If that's still too much, so if you need to, come back down. We are now going to hold that position. Do your pelvic tilt if you need to. This is a new position for you. And from here, you're going to draw the shoulder. So if you're on your side, you're going to draw the arm back. If you're on your forearm, you're going to draw up and back. And all the way around. So there, you're going to thread the needle if you're on your arm, on your forearm. I'm going to show you now in 2 seconds what you're going to do if you're on your side. And if you're on your side, you're going to do your arm openings. Now, you know that we do love this one as a physio. And the reason why we love it is because you're using that shoulder blade to mobilize that rib cage. So depending where you're at, you're getting lots of lovely movement through that thoracic spine. But you've got to be kind to the body here because this is not a movement that you'd be doing routinely throughout the day. And it's very specific because the pelvis doesn't get to move. You're stacking that pelvis. The shoulders on the lying down side don't get to move. So because of that, you've got to be really, really mindful of what you're doing. Here we go. Last one. And release. Excellent. Let's go to your other side. So same again, you may even have one side that you get to lie down on and another side where you can go on the forearm. What you're looking for if you're on your forearm is that, well, first of all, side lying or forearm, this shoulder, ears, all in line through the rib cage, in line through that pelvis, and the heels are in line there as well. So a lot of alignment going on. If you're on your forearm, watch that you're not seeing the ball of that sort of arm, your humerus, that is coming forward. Not so humorous if it is. There we go. I had to pause for delivery there, just in case you missed it. Really make sure that it's tucked in there and that you're lengthening through the neck, drawing that chin back, opening the chest and allowing the sternum to lift. I won't get you to sing at the same time. If you do, there's bonus points. Let's do into get our pelvis in a nice neutral position. So a little pelvic tilting. Off we go. Here we go. That's it. And top up towards the heel. Good. Again, lie on your side. You don't have to do this inside lying up on your forearms. And a lot of people will push on through. You'll actually find that with shoulder rehab, the difficulty people find is that they actually try and progress it too much. So when you start weight bearing through the shoulder and through the arm, things get loaded up quite quickly. So because of that, you really want to pitch it at the right level for you. Now from here, we're lifting up and down, lift a heel and down. That is harder inside lying because you need that parcel space underneath. And if you're side lying without lying down on your forearm, up on your forearm, then you'll need an envelope space. So keep that envelope space. Lovely. We've worked the inside of the thighs. We're also working the outside. And this little kick, let's call it a little kick, Charleston kick. I don't know. Let's make it up, whatever you want. That will actually get a lot of the rotators. So a nice addition to that one. Good. Well done. This has been an endurance set today. Keep that length. As I said, if I'm measuring between the ribs and the pelvis on one side and the other, they should be the same. Same length. Lovely. Good. You'll never look at one of those photos of these famous people lying on the beach on their side Again, they must be doing an awful lot of Pilates when the cameras are on them, because I don't think slumping down like that is what's on the cameras. But anyway, there we go. Make sure the chin is back. There we go. Love it. Whole new world. So not only will you be beach ready, you'll be beach ready for the paparazzi as well, which is what you came for, wasn't it? Last one. Fab. Okay. You can go on to your side if you want to take a break through the shoulder, because remember, weight bearing up through that shoulder is making those shoulder stabilizers work very hard, and also the neck muscles as well. Make sure the chin stays back for this one. We're going to lift chest opener. And if you want to add that thread the needle for sideline, for the side position, you can. But again, remember, that is quite a progression. If you've had any previous shoulder issues and you haven't been put through shoulder rehab, we don't always suggest that you go up onto the arm, and we certainly don't suggest that you do the thread the needle part, because it's a lot of movement through there. It's a big ask for the endurance muscles around the shoulder blade. Good. Keep that lovely position. You're nearly there. Well done. Keep breathing. 2 more. And remember, if you're on your side, you're doing your chest openers, you'll know this one. Back in. And if you want us to check that, please do. Lovely. And release. Fantastic. Good. Let's come up into sitting. You're nearly there. Sit in your block if you want, or pop up onto a chair. At this point, the key bit is we don't mind where you sit as long as you get into a nice position. A lot of the times when we try and sit and we try and force the sit on the floor, we have hamstring length issues, we have lots of things, so it doesn't really help the situation. So you can go into W, you can go into V-sit, you can cross the legs, whichever is most comfortable for you. We're now going to open up that chest like we did at the start. So open up the chest and out we go. Lovely. And we're thinking now about drawing the shoulder blades back and down to opposite to your bum pockets. Good. And release. And from here as well, you also want to get length at the neck, the upper neck. There isn't too many bits. I think maybe I didn't work your pinky enough. So let's do that now. We got most bits today, I think. Open up that chest, lift through the sternum. Even though the arms are coming out, lift through the sternum. It's really hard in sitting. Good, and release back down. Now we're going to rotate in, and this time you're going to lean down. So roll the shoulder blade back and down, little bend through the back elbow, and lift up and over, and release. This is a little bit of a tricep workout, mini one. There we go. Last one. You can go as low as you want or as hard as you want on that. It also stimulates the wrist joint, which needs a little bit of work as well. So it still needs stimulation. Most of us don't like to go onto our hands and knees, and that's absolutely fine. But you'll find if you don't put weight up through those joints, they do get worse. Open up the chest now, open up the shoulders, get that shoulder blade back and down. If you want to, you can put a little bit of weight down through that arm, bend at the elbow, and off we go. So you're hinging through there. Good. Lift up and over. Always, make sure that you're keeping within your comfortable range. So if you're sitting, you can always do this in sitting, and you can take the arm out of it as well by lifting up and over. So lots of different options. I'm showing you the top one there. I'm putting weight down through those triceps. This is the time when the shoulder blade muscles are tired, and that's why we're just pushing them a little bit more if you want to. Lovely. Now let's walk the hands around. And in this position, little pelvic tilt, draw down and up and arch. So we're going to go a little bit further than just neutral for the lumbar spine. I want you to actually arch it up and down and enjoy that stretch. Last one. And release other side. Good. And you might find that as you go to the other side, things tighten up a little bit. That's a little sign to you that you do need to give that thoracic spine a little bit more TLC than maybe you're getting to give it to it. You're not alone in that party if that's you. Last one, and release. Good. Come back to the center point, and from here we're going to do 3 roll downs. And each time I want you to grow taller when you come back up. So nice deep breath in, wide through the collarbones. You're on the last lap. Here we go. Chin towards the chest and down we go. Fab. Good. If you'd like to go further into flexion, you can by walking the hands forward. Glide underneath. Hold, 2, 3. Other side. Glide underneath. Hold, 2, 3. Back. Walk the hands back and draw back up into your roll up again, wide through the collarbone. So again, I'm giving you lots of options here. Please stick with what's most best for you. Off we go again. Inhale and exhale. Down we go. So do each section if you can so that you're not rushing it. Then when you fold it down, if you want to add walking out, again, I'm putting a bit of weight down through the hands deliberately, but not loads. Good. And swap hands. We don't always get to really fire up the shoulder stabilizers and the neck, deep neck flexors, but we did today. Walking back. Good. And last one, get that length at the back of the neck now. Nice deep breath in. And exhale as you go. Lovely. If you want to, walk the hands forward. Again, this really depends on whether your lumbar spine wants to do this, whether today's the day for that. Every day is different and this is your time. It's one of the few classes really, I think, in mainstream fitness where you can actually give yourself the permission to not overdo it and to get the technique right. Well done, everyone. Thank you so much for joining and I look forward to seeing you again. As usual, if you've any questions, you want us to check anything, ask your physio and we can check all the bits, make sure it's lining up. Really work on going away from here, getting that lift, sort of shoulder blades gliding down to your bum pockets just very gently. Lengthen at the back of the neck. We're going to be doing a bit more neck stuff in the next wee while. So really trying to lengthen at the back of the neck so that sternum can almost lift without you realizing. Lovely. Enjoy the rest of your day or evening and I look forward to seeing you again.